Elena stood at the edge of the weather-beaten pier, her curly auburn hair flirting with the wind as she scanned the azure horizon through her binoculars. Today marked the beginning of a new expedition, one that could potentially change the trajectory of her career as a marine biologist. The sun-dappled waves sang a symphony of whispers to which she had learned to listen, promising stories from the depths. Her objective was simple yet profound. Study the nesting patterns of the endangered sea turtles and propose a sustainable intervention. She lowered her binoculars, her thoughts interrupted by a cheerful voice. "You'll scare the fish with those bright ideas of yours," teased Lucas, the local fisherman, whose presence was as comforting and constant as the tide. His sea-weathered skin and warm grin made him look like he belonged to the sea, like a creature of salt and wave. Elena chuckled, familiar with his jest. "And you'll bore them to sleep with your stories," she replied, the banter a dance they both knew well. They had crossed paths many times before, her working diligently on research, him casting nets, but never had their paths intertwined so completely. Lucas leaned on the wooden railing beside her, gazing at the water with an old familiarity. "I heard you're looking to save our turtles," he said, his tone more earnest. She nodded. "I am. They were here long before us, and they deserve a fighting chance to stay." His expression softened. "I'd like to help," he offered. "I know these waters better than anyone." She turned to him, surprised at his offer, a flicker of curiosity igniting within her. His connection to the sea was palpable, and his knowledge could prove invaluable. "All right," she agreed, her heart fluttering at the prospect. "Let's save some turtles." And so, amidst the rhythmic serenade of the waves, an unexpected partnership was born. A partnership destined to explore both the wonders of the ocean and the mysteries of the heart. The morning sun stretched its golden fingers across the harbor as Elena and Lucas set out on his modest fishing boat, the Sea Mistral. A sense of adventure hung in the salty air, blending with the scent of the ocean and possibilities. "This place is magical," Elena murmured, as she watched sunlight glint playfully off the water. Lucas, steering with a practiced hand, nodded. "There's a magic here, all right. I've loved this sea since I was a boy." Elena set up her equipment, the boat's gentle rocking, reminiscent of a lullaby. "So, what's the first order of business?" she asked, eager to start. Lucas chuckled, his eyes crinkling with amusement. "First, we need to find their favorite haunt. The turtles like a bit of peace, same as us. There's a cove not too far from here where they've been known to nest." As the boat chugged toward the cove, the day's work flowed seamlessly into banter. Every sentence seemed to draw them closer, like a thread weaving an intricate tapestry of companionship. Upon reaching the secluded cove, they were greeted by a serene landscape, a strip of pristine sand kissed by the gentle waves. Here, time seemed to slow, and the world was hushed, save for the rhythmic crash of the ocean. Elena immediately got to work, scanning the shoreline for signs of nesting. Lucas accompanied her, pointing out subtle traces only someone with an intimate knowledge of the sea would notice. "Here," Lucas said, crouching by a disturbed patch of sand. "These look promising." Together, they examined the site, their hands brushing as they collected data. An electric spark danced at the touch, surprising them both. Lucas cleared his throat, shifting his gaze back to the sand. "It's rare to see such dedicated nesting grounds these days," he remarked, his voice contemplative. Elena nodded, deeply engrossed in both her findings and the man beside her. It's like finding a pearl in an oyster, something rare and beautiful, she agreed. The tide carried them into an unexpected rhythm, a newfound synchronicity forming between them. In the quiet moments, as the sun dipped towards the horizon, their conversations meandered from their work to dreams, fears, and unspoken hopes. As dusk painted the sky in hues of amber and indigo, they knew they were not just uncovering the secrets of the sea, but also those of each other. And with each word exchanged, Elena and Lucas found themselves succumbing to the sea's serenade, and perhaps to the serenity of each other. The days began to blend together into a symphony of discovery, both in their research and burgeoning affection. Elena and Lucas fell into a comfortable routine, their daily expeditions driven by a shared purpose and punctuated by laughter that echoed across the waters. One afternoon, as they navigated the shimmering expanse of the sea, Elena found herself opening up in a way she hadn't anticipated. "You know, I've always been drawn to the ocean," she confessed, tracing circles on the boat's railing. "It's where I feel most alive." Lucas listened intently, the wind tousling his dark hair. "And yet it's unpredictable," he commented thoughtfully. "Like life, I suppose." Elena nodded, staring into the horizon. "And like people," she added softly, her eyes meeting his. "We are drawn to what we don't entirely understand." His gaze lingered on her, a silent acknowledgement that neither of them could fully decipher what was unfolding between them. "A mystery worth exploring," he murmured. Their research took them further along the coast, to areas rich with coral reefs teeming with life. Each discovery felt like a small victory, every recorded data point a step closer to ensuring the turtles' future. Yet amidst their successes, challenges loomed. Unexpected storms that hindered their outings, or the frayed nets they struggled to repair. One morning, as they wrestled with a particularly stubborn net tangled around the boat's propeller, Elena groaned in frustration. "There's never a dull moment," she grumbled. Lucas laughed, his fingers deftly working to untangle the mess. "That's what makes it an adventure," he said. "Besides, you're surprisingly good at handling a crisis. You've got a knack for calming the sea monsters that lurk in our path." She rolled her eyes, though his words chased away her irritation. "And you're quite the navigator," she countered playfully. "Who knew a fisherman could be so poetic?" Their light-hearted banter masked an undercurrent of something deeper. Each shared smile, each fleeting touch left them both wondering how long it would be before these moments couldn't be contained within the borders of friendship. As the sun dipped low, casting an amber glow across the water, Elena watched Lucas with a newfound realization. She realized that her heart now echoed the rhythm of the waves, unsure, yet embracing the unknown. In Lucas, she found not only a partner in her mission, but also someone who understood the language of the sea and the song of her heart, a melody that was becoming increasingly harder to ignore. The morning broke with a promise of clarity, the sky a canvas of pastels above Elena's small shoreline cabin, a temporary home filled with charts and specimens. This day held importance, a planned presentation to the local conservation board about their progress and urgent need for further measures to protect the sea turtles. Elena stood before the mirror, trying to tame her wind-blown curls into submission as her thoughts raced. Her reflection stared back, anxiety mixed with determination. She knew how vital Lucas's insights were. Today, they would present their findings together. A sharp knock pulled her from her thoughts. She opened the door to find Lucas, leaning casually against the frame, a grin playing on his lips. Ready for the big day? She smiled, feeling steadied by his presence. As ready as I'll ever be. I hope they love our pitch as much as I love the turtles. Lucas chuckled, an assuring sound. They'd be fools not to. I mean, who wouldn't be charmed by a passionate marine biologist and her brilliant plan? His words, laced with sincerity, warmed her like the morning sun. She gestured inside, gathering her notes and laptop in a purposeful flurry. Let's hope it's enough. The town hall, with its slightly faded coastal charm, buzzed with an air of anticipation. Among the audience sat familiar faces, eager locals concerned for the ecosystem they cherished. As Elena presented data, conclusive and compelling, Lucas shared anecdotes and observations that brought their cause to life. Their synergy was palpable, drawing in even the most skeptical listeners. When Elena's voice faltered with emotion, Lucas was there, seamlessly weaving in his own heartfelt words. The room erupted in applause, a wave of relief washing over Elena. The board members nodded approvingly, and one of them, a graying man with kind eyes, announced, "We support your continued efforts and funding will be allocated. You've captured the essence of what it means to protect our ocean." Lucas turned to her, his expression one of triumph. "We did it," he whispered, his hand briefly brushing hers, a touch that lingered until she locked eyes with him, a world of unspoken possibilities hovering between them. As the day unfolded into evening celebrations at the local tavern, Elena found herself surrounded by friends and supporters. But it was Lucas who remained her anchor in the joyous storm. His presence, steady as the sea, reminded her how much their journey together had begun to shape not only their shared passion, but also the song within her heart. A serenade once filled solely with ocean waves, now harmonizing with the gentle rhythm of newfound love. With newfound support and resources, the project advanced in leaps and bounds. The sea mistral cut through the breezy morning air each day, carrying Elena and Lucas toward their beloved cove. The routine had become a melody all its own, a comforting call and response between them and the sea creatures they were determined to protect. The project, however, was not without its mundane challenges. On one particular afternoon, as they were documenting turtle nests, a sudden downpour drenched them both, the rain falling in a curtain and pooling in large puddles around their equipment. Elena laughed, sheltering under the boat's small canopy, dripping wet yet amused. Some field work comes with perks like free showers, I guess. Lucas, equally soaked, but grinning, handed her his jacket. "Here," he offered. "Not much help, but it's dry at least." She accepted it, feeling the warmth it retained from him, and wrapped it around herself with a grateful smile. "I owe you one," she said, still laughing. He joined in her laughter, the sound of it a balm against the dreariness of the storm. As the rain poured down, they shared stories of each other's past adventures at sea, the deluge unable to dampen their mood. As the clouds dispersed, leaving the sky a clear blue, the beauty of a sunlit double rainbow emerged across the horizon. Elena, awestruck, turned to Lucas, her eyes reflecting the wonder that she felt. "It's moments like these," Lucas said quietly, standing close enough to hear the whisper of her breath, "that make the hard work worth it." She nodded, feeling a deeper connection to him with each shared experience. "I couldn't agree more." As the evening approached and they prepared to return to shore, Elena watched Lucas expertly maneuver the sea mistral back to the harbor. She marveled at how natural this life began to feel. The rhythm of the ocean, the shared glances, the sense of being part of something larger than themselves. Later, as she lay awake in her cabin, the melody of the waves lulling her, she thought of Lucas and the richness he'd brought into her life. More than just allies united by a cause, they had blazed a path towards something resembling love. It was a vast, uncharted sea, and she felt both exhilarated and terrified by its promise. In the stillness, she finally understood that she was no longer listening to the song of the waves alone. Her heart had found a counterpoint in Lucas's steadfast drumbeat, their duet leading them both into deeper waters. The summer sun warmed everything it touched as the project reached a pivotal point. The first signs of hatchlings had been spotted, tiny flippers emerging from the sand, instinctively drawn to the sea. It was a sight Elena and Lucas had anticipated, their shared efforts unfolding into this magical moment. On the shore, surrounded by a small gathering of community members, Elena crouched down, eyes wide with wonder as a tiny turtle wiggled its way toward the water. Lucas was at her side, his usual playful demeanor replaced by reverent silence. "It never loses its magic, does it?" she said softly, watching another hatchling make its way over the sand. Lucas shook his head, a rare depth in his voice. "No matter how many times I see it, it's always as if it's the first time." The day's success was a testament to their hard work, a tangible outcome that breathed life into their dreams. The townsfolk cheered, and the air buzzed with achievement. Yet within that crowd, Elena only felt Lucas's presence beside her. After the event, the two found a quiet spot along the beach where the world seemed to hush around them. The sun dipped low, painting the sky in oranges and purples, a canvas of goodbyes and promises. "We did it," Lucas said, his voice filled with a mixture of disbelief and pride. "We really did," Elena replied, her heart pounding with unspoken words she couldn't yet voice. Their gazes locked, and in that moment, the simple truth stood clear between them. Over the weeks, between the shared failures and successes, the laughter and quiet conversations, something profound had developed. Just as Elena drew a breath to say something she never thought she would utter to him, a voice called out from behind, breaking the intimate silence. It was Danny, the young volunteer from the conservation effort. "Elena, Lucas, you've got to see this!" she shouted, waving frantically from further up the beach. They sprang to their feet and jogged to catch up with Danny, the moment left suspended between them like a bookmark for later. As they left the beach behind, Elena knew she was ready to turn the page on more than just their work. The evening wrapped them in warm camaraderie, the town celebrating in the local tavern. But amidst the cheerful chaos, Elena and Lucas exchanged secret smiles, the knowledge of what had been left unsaid binding them even closer. Their shared journey so far was just the beginning, and as they raised their glasses, each felt the ever-present serenade, a promise that the waves weren't the only thing carrying them forward. The town basked in a glow of newfound hope, the successful turtle hatchings a story spreading rapidly among the locals. Elena and Lucas became minor celebrities. Their partnership was celebrated not just for its achievements, but for the spirit of collaboration they embodied. To Elena, each day felt like a new chapter, filled with the bustling life of the townspeople and the ever-present allure of the ocean. Amidst this, Elena found herself wrestling with emotions that grew stronger with each passing tide. Her feelings for Lucas had deepened beyond simple camaraderie, becoming something entwined with every moment they spent together. One afternoon, as a gentle breeze carried the scent of salt and sunlight, Lucas and Elena found themselves walking along the beach. The conversation meandered through light topics, a comfortable ebb and flow, until Lucas paused, his fingers brushing over a weathered piece of driftwood half buried in the sand. "You ever think about what this driftwood might have seen?" he asked, looking up at her, his gaze filled with a boyish wonder. Elena smiled. "Probably more than we can imagine. Maybe adventures, maybe storms. Certainly more than a quiet life on shore." Lucas grinned, tossing the wordless tales of the wood back to the sea. "A life at sea isn't always predictable," he said, his smile fading to something more earnest. "Kind of like how we ended up here, together." The air between them shimmered with possibility. Elena knew this was the moment to share what had been swelling in her heart, the longing to let him in, not just as a partner in their work, but as something more personal. "Lucas," she began, choosing each word with care, "these past months working with you, it's become so much more than just about the turtles." His eyes searched hers, warmth and curiosity flickering across his face. "I felt it too, Elena," he confessed, stepping closer. "You're more than I ever expected to find out here." Though she'd been instilled with the scientific method since her school days, here on this shore with Lucas, Elena understood the surrender of reason to feeling. Her heart beat in time with the waves. Their conversation flowed into a confession, unburdened by fear and doubt, clear as the water lapping at their feet. And in the gentle twilight that surrounded them, Elena and Lucas crossed a threshold, guided by the serenade of the sea. As they wandered back towards the village, hand in hand, Elena realized that love, much like the ocean, wasn't something you charted or logically defined. It was an endless, ever-changing journey, and she was ready to ride its waves with Lucas by her side. The romance between Elena and Lucas blossomed like a secret garden, as vibrant as the sunlit sea and as unexplored as the deepest ocean trench. The town seemed to sense this change, becoming the backdrop for their unfolding story. Every glance between them held a multitude of words unsaid, but somehow understood. Each day carried new experiences, their shared mission binding them tighter than any tide could have tethered them to land. One late afternoon, while taking samples near the coral-rich northern patch, Lucas turned to Elena. The setting sun painted everything in its path golden, including his eyes, which seemed to hold a universe of emotion. You know, I could get used to this, Lucas mentioned, his voice a gentle undertow amidst the crash of distant waves. Elena raised an eyebrow, pretending a seriousness she didn't feel. Surveying coral. I mean, spending time with you like this, Lucas replied, his meaning as clear as the azure sky. Elena's heart swelled, her laughter carrying away on the wind, while her hand found his, the grip soft but unwavering. Words were inadequate for the gratitude she felt, for the shared moments and their beautiful simplicity. But as their relationship grew, so too did the challenges of their mission. From the rush to reinforce protective measures around vulnerable nests, to local businesses resisting suggestions for eco-friendly changes, it was a daily juggling act. Elena found herself strategizing late into the night, documents strewn across her kitchen table, a reflection of a passionate yet conflicted heart. She yearned for solutions that seemed just beyond reach, until, like clockwork, Lucas would appear, offering perspectives grounded in wisdom and experience. Balance, he would often say, placing a calming hand on her shoulder. It's the key to any relationship, our own and with the environment. It was a reminder of the delicate equilibrium they both sought in their personal and professional life, an ongoing lesson in love and conservation. One evening, strolling back along the beach, the air lush with the scent of jasmine carried from nearby gardens, Elena voiced a worry that had lingered unspoken. What if we can't keep everyone happy, Lucas? What if protecting the turtles means making hard choices, choices that come at a cost? He paused, drawing her to him as the moon threaded silver across the water. We can't predict every outcome, but we can follow what feels right, he replied, threading his fingers through hers. Together we're stronger, both for them and ourselves. His words, much like him, were an anchor amidst the drift of doubt. And as they stood holding each other beneath the twinkling veil of night, their bond felt as solid and enduring as the earth beneath their feet. This shore, their sanctuary, the ocean, a reminder that love, like the sea, is vast and surprisingly deep. With the peak of summer nearing, the calm usually gracing the coastal town was disrupted by unexpected challenges. A powerful storm had been predicted, threatening the fragile turtle nests dotting the shoreline. Elena and Lucas, alongside the local volunteers, sprang into action to prepare the beach. As the wind began to howl, whipping the sea into an angry tumult, Elena worked tirelessly, positioning protective barriers and coordinating efforts. The golden beach, now under a slate-gray sky, buzzed with the urgency of their mission. Lucas stayed close, his hands as swift and sure as ever. We'll get through this, he reassured her, over the roar of the gathering storm. His calm determination was a guiding light amid the chaos. Despite the fierce gusts, Elena could sense the unspoken bond fortifying them both. They were not merely partners in their scientific endeavor, but a unified front against the unpredictability of life and nature alike. The preparations were intense, each moment a testament to their dedication. As the storm intensified, the community worked side by side, their efforts revealing the interconnectedness that had formed, largely thanks to Elena and Lucas's influence. In the wake of these high-pressure days, as silence finally wrapped around them with the storm's passing, the impact of their work became even clearer. Both the triumphs and trials had forged connections, not just for the turtles, but between hearts bound by shared purpose. That evening, after the storm subsided, starry skies replaced turbulent clouds, breathing new life into the tired yet hopeful town. Elena and Lucas found a moment away from the bustle, nestled together on a quiet dune. Watching the moonlight dance on a calm sea. "It's remarkable," Elena whispered, tracing patterns in the sand. "How even in the chaos, there's such beauty to be found when we stand together." Lucas, resting back against the dune, pulled her closer. "It's like the sea," he mused. "Powerful and unpredictable, yet so full of grace." Their conversation flowed, like the gentle waves lapping nearby, as they contemplated the journey they'd undertaken, not just on this project, but towards one another. Elena realized that every storm, every challenge had only strengthened their bond. What had started with a collaboration to save the turtles had grown into a steadfast partnership of the heart. Looking out over the water, she knew they had come full circle. Yet their story was far from over. For as their dreams rose with the tide, she felt tethered to this world they'd built together, where love was as enduring as the rhythmic serenade of the waves. The days that followed the storm were bathed in the soft glow of early autumn, the air crisp and invigorating, the town filled with a renewed sense of unity as the community rallied around the successful safeguarding of the turtle nests. Their eyes turned to the future with hope, their spirits buoyed by what they had collectively achieved. Elena and Lucas, the town's unexpected champions, found themselves at the heart of this transformation. Their relationship woven into the fabric of the town. Their days were filled with meetings and plans for more conservation efforts. Yet amidst the bustle, they found time for quiet moments. One such moment came as they strolled the length of the familiar beach, the sand cool beneath their feet. Seagulls cawed overhead, accompanying the melody of the waves that had brought them together. "It's incredible," Elena spoke, her voice laced with awe. "How we started this journey with sea turtles and ended up finding each other." Lucas squeezed her hand, his smile gentle. "I wouldn't have it any other way," he said. "You've changed how I see the world, how I see myself in it." They paused, letting the ocean breeze swirl around them, a thousand unsaid words weaving through the silence. Lucas reached into his pocket, revealing a small, well-worn notebook that Elena recognized instantly. It was where he scribbled thoughts and ideas, a repository of their shared journey. "I've been thinking," Lucas began, turning the pages until he found his mark. "Every adventure deserves its memory, its story told and retold," he continued, his eyes meeting hers. "And our story, yours and mine, I hope it's a long one." Elena felt her heart surge with a mix of joy and anticipation. "So do I," she replied, leaning closer, the words a promise. "What do you see for us, Lucas?" she asked, her voice both hesitant and hopeful. He grinned, pointing toward the horizon, where the sun dipped low, painting the sea in hues of gold and crimson. "Everything," he said simply. As the sun set, marking the end of one chapter and the beginning of another, Lucas made a vow, a commitment not just to their ongoing mission with the turtles, but to a future that embraced the unpredictable beauty of love and life. Their time together had taught them that while the sea could be unruly, the journey it promised was endlessly rewarding, full of challenges and triumphs fought side by side. And so, as Elena and Lucas stood united on the shore, they knew the serenade of the waves would be their lifelong symphony, one of discovery, resilience, and a love as vast and enduring as the ocean itself.